Welcome everybody to the movie review of Godzilla versus Kong. We're still working on a name, so until then, we're just gonna call it the movie review. But my name is Tankcramer, and I'm with my co-host.
Will, Peppa MD. How you guys doing today?
Good. All right. Cool. So this is what, like, our third review so far?
Yeah, third episode so far.
Yeah. Awesome. So this week we are doing Godzilla versus King Kong, or Godzilla versus Kong, what they're calling it. That came out this past weekend, or this past week, because it came out a few days before Friday. We are gonna talk a little bit about it, but first, you want to watch the trailer?
All right.
Ooh.
This is our only chance.
I think the trailer kind of ruined a big part of that, because I think there's a big secret that got ruined
Right.
in the trailer.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't want to give it away quite yet.
We need Kong
Produced by Warner Brothers.
to stop what's coming. And this child, she's the only one he'll communicate with.
I knew that they had a bond.
She's from Iron Man, right? Iron Man
I made a promise to
3?
Talking about the doctor or the little girl?
Yeah, the doctor, right?
Doctor. Yeah.
Okay. I was like, she looked familiar.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Man, dude, I gotta say the graphics on this one was really good.
I did get lost in the film for sure, just based off of great CGI. Definitely.
Yeah.
CGI can definitely make or break. Oh shit. Make or break a film.
Shit. It's getting better, man. CGI is so insane now.
Yeah.
Like, this one's like crazy.
Damn. First hit.
Music. Yeah, I mean, it's playing music. I don't want to get copyrighted by the music.
Okay.
But a very diverse cast. One thing I noticed pretty quick.
Yeah, I do like the fact that they integrated young cast and older people in it just to appeal to everybody. That was something pretty cool. I liked.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I don't know. It was fun, man. You also got to take it for what it is, which is two monsters just beating up each other.
Right. Attack the Titans, the Great Titans.
Yeah. And I know you said you didn't see Godzilla King of Monsters, I think it was, or something like that.
I haven't seen King of Monsters, and I have not seen Skull Island.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit handicapped here, but I'm gonna take the movie for what it was. That's it.
Yeah, I think they give you all the info that you need right at the beginning, and you don't need that much info, But I would say, if you like this kind of stuff, definitely King of Monsters was really good too for what it was, and that was just like Godzilla versus every kind of monster they ever had, like in the all the past of Godzilla. So it was super cool. But I know the big thing is this is sparking a lot of controversy still. I saw a bunch of stuff on Twitter still about people talking crap about both sides of the argument, whether you are Team Kong or Team Godzilla.
Right.
And I can, I think by your background, I think I know what team you're in.
It's right. Oh, that's right. Yeah. I kind of already figure who I got. You want me to go first? You want to say who do you got in the comment section? Feel free to say who you were team for. Were you Team Kong? Were you Team Godzilla? I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, I was Team this guy. Wrong way. I was Team Godzilla for a few reasons, right? So one, this whole movie I felt like was a common theme that was presented was nurture versus nature, right? You have Godzilla, who has no help. He's just a lone star over here, just trying to fight when he has to fight. And then you got Kong, who has help. And even though he may not have the coolest powers, right? He can't shoot out laser beams out of his mouth. He definitely can. He's smart, right? He has a great intelligence to know to pick up weapons and things like that. You know,
Mhm.
he's evolutionized the game as far as monsters. Who do you got, man? Who do you got, Kramer?
I got Kong.
You got Kong.
I
What do you got,
went
Kong?
Kong. So one thing real quick is Brittany over on our Facebook. She said, "I'm tired of huge spoilers in trailers," and yeah,
I agree.
that really ruins it. I'm sorry, I missed it a little earlier. I was preoccupied and stuff like that.
That's
But
okay.
yeah, yeah, and luckily Marvel's getting better at it with putting fake stuff in trailers or missing parts in trailers, which is really cool. But this one, I believe, really kind of spoiled a big part of the movie, which really sucks. But that being said, going back to the argument, I'm Team Kong. Kind of the stuff he says, like he is in this one. They make him very different. He's very he's smart. You know, he's just not an animal. Where Godzilla is even in the past movies is going off of instincts. You know, so he's just an animal going off of his instincts. Where Godzilla can figure things out, you know, and play to stuff like that, you know, like who's family, home, you know, what's important, you know, and stuff like that, you know, prioritizing things, using weapons, thumbs, you know, it's a big one, a thumb. And then we got well, Alfredo said all you need is a wolf, and then we'll have the Rampage remake, which they already did that with The Rock, which was not a bad movie. It wasn't as good, but
Right.
but yeah, but even then, a wolf would be kind of, I think, silly. But yeah, I'm Team Kong, man. I mean, people bash it like it's a monkey versus a radioactive lizard. I was like, you know, but I'm like, but he's a monkey. It's like also saying like it's like humans, you know, smart and intelligent versus like I don't know, a kimono dragon. Like, yeah, a kimono dragon probably freaking, you know, bite your finger off, you know, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, as a human, you should win. They you get hurt really bad, but you know, you
Right.
still should be more superior than a
Yeah,
Komodo dragon
for sure.
because you got guns and weapons that you can use at your disposal where they can't. Same thing with how I felt. You know, that's why I was one thing I was like, he in the trailer they show him having an axe. I was like, yes. You know, but you know,
Right.
like, yeah, he's a monkey. I mean, monkeys in the wild use tools, you know, so
Right.
you
So you
know,
get intelligence versus instincts. One thing that I really liked, right, is if you look at their fighting styles, and we're gonna talk about it more a little bit later on, but Godzilla, he can go on land, he can go on in underwater. He has a few elements to his disposal of how he can, attack you, right? If we're talking Pokemon, right? if you're if you're
yeah,
if you're an underwater Pokemon, you have the advantage of sneaking up on your opponent, right? And we saw that in the trailer as well. We saw that in the film where Godzilla, he'll sneak up on you, and all you have at your disposal is sonar, or you could feel the ground under you or the water nearby, or
mm,
stuff like that. I feel like that was a really big element into their fighting, even though later on water was taken out of the fights, and then you have to just rely on straight up, instincts and power alone.
yeah,
Like there, go. Sorry guys, I'm gonna have my son making cameos every now and then. It's okay, but yeah, I really feel um, like Godzilla stole the show because, and again, we'll talk about it later, but like Godzilla's so cool that humans want to replicate Godzilla. I think that overall kind of set the tone of like, damn, how bad do you want a powerful Titan that you're gonna make one after one that already exists?
yeah, yeah. It's like, you know, here's this thing that can destroy cities
Mhm,
without trying, you know. So how are we gonna get it going?
mhm.
We got Martin. He's or is Martin saying he's Team Kong? Martin, I didn't mean to say. He's the team gorilla with me. But
Yeah.
but that being said, I kind of knew how the movie was going to end, because Batman versus Superman, obviously, they're both on the same team, So I was interested on how it was going to get there, but we'll get there later.
Yes.
One thing I do want to talk about, where am I at? Having a brain fart. Is the box office numbers, dude.
How popular
Box office
was this
numbers.
film? I want to know.
Ooh, it did super good. So this is Box Office Pro weekend box office. Godzilla vs. Kong shatters pandemic era opening weekend with a $32.2 million 3-day, which is the regular, and from its debut, 48.5 million from it coming out to the end of Sunday. So that
That's
is
fantastic.
really, really good. I mean, and that's like, I know when you're talking like billions, when it comes to like Marvel movies that we're kind of like everyone's used to,
Yes.
we won't see that for a while. I don't think like numbers like that again. I honestly not for like years and years, but not for at least for another year or so. We're not gonna see that. But like this, like being such a, I don't think you got anything else important. But yeah, this one being such a big deal in theaters is definitely really good for AMC and all the other kind of theaters that are struggling.
Yes.
That people can come out. Also, I mean, I know there's other stuff. I don't want to get too much into it, but like people getting their shots and it's starting to get warmer out and stuff like that.
Yep.
Definitely played a role into it, but 48.5 mil in 5 days is not too shabby for a movie that was also on TV on HBO Max at the same time.
Right.
So it is kind of showing you that maybe these two worlds can still play well together, because that's a big thing. Like, if it's streaming, why would you go to the movies? But so we'll see. We'll see. So far, really positive outcomes that came from something like this. But
I, w-
what do you think?
I will say, having the whole theater experience would have maybe made this film even better.
Yeah.
Imagine IMAX 3D, right? You throw in a bunch of elements like that, you get, the big screen. That's where you get entertained. Not everyone has a 50-inch, not everyone has a 70-inch TV that can really like utilize, the imagery that they were using. If you're watching this on
Yeah.
your phone, like how I was doing, you may not get the full experience of the sound quality and all the different what's it called, music that they use, like that
Yeah.
kind of tells a story too when you get that full experience. But with that being said, like I kudos to Warner Brothers for putting this out. Kudos to HBO Max. I'm sure this film, along with Schneider's cut, brought people to download the app and sign up for that subscription.
Oh yeah, for
I'm
sure.
pretty sure this
For
really
sure.
put them on the map and is making them somewhat of a. I mean, they're already doing great, HBO, but making them more of a contender for Netflix and all the streaming apps that are going on right now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was a big, really big call when they said they're going to release all Warner Brother movies on HBO Max, and also like theaters if possible. But I was like,
Yeah.
wow, I mean, there's a lot of good and bad that comes with that, but for a fan, for people at home watching, it's definitely a good thing. But then, the bad things are, we can get more in depth about stuff like that later on a different podcast. But
For sure.
yeah, so Martin came in and goes, "Nah, man, disrespecting him, calling him a monkey. He's a gorilla." But he said he's Godzilla.
Oh, okay.
Is
Okay.
what? Yeah, he's like Godzilla all the way, bro. Man, see, Godzilla. I gotta admit, Godzilla is cooler of the
Yeah.
two. Definitely. Like, yeah, he eats buses. I mean, he stepped on something. He stepped on something and just like was no big deal. But that's the difference I feel still is like Godzilla just steps on it and like doesn't think about it. Where like Godzilla grabs a plane, looks at who's inside, he's like, "Oh, no one I know," and it's like, and then just chucks it to the side. He's like, "All right,"
Yeah.
So it's
Right.
like it's difference, consciousness.
Right.
But yeah, so that all that box office goodies and stuff like that. You just want to get straight into breaking down this movie now?
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's break down the
Yeah.
film.
Yeah. So you remember how it's kind of started, which is
So
kind of a big deal.
so it kind of started in the very beginning. We see Godzilla is getting pissed. He's at peace with the world, current day, and he had a big brawl in the previous movies, but he was at peace. He was like, you know what, I'm not gonna wreak havoc anymore. You chill out and don't attack me, and I'm not gonna do anything to y'all. But what sparked him to get pissed is he can sense energy levels, right? He knew or had some kind of idea that something was going on at this company, Apex Cybernetics. Apex
Mm.
Cybernetics is a
Yeah.
company that just their focus is pretty much creating weapons of mass destruction. That's what it seems like to me. And go ahead. If you wanna say
Yeah,
something.
no, yeah, that's basically kind of what they were doing. It was, but they also like thrown in there that they were helping the world, which was kind of, like giving you new technologies,
I,
kind of stuff.
I don't know. Even though when they were saying that, I kept getting undertones that they had
Uh
an
huh.
evil agenda. Like just because let's say you have the nuclear codes, right? And you have an option for peace, doesn't mean you're always going to use that weapon for peace. I don't think so. You have
Oh, yeah.
two big titans like these guys, and
The,
why
the Hank Scorpio effect. You know,
Hank Scorpio? Yeah, yeah,
Hank Scorpio from The Simpsons. Like everyone loved Hank Scorpio because he was doing good things secretly. He was trying to like destroy the world.
yeah.
Like Elon Musk. Elon Musk is the Hank Scorpio in real life.
So while he was trying to do that, I forgot the people that had Kong kind of domesticated, if you want to call it that. He was in a whole other stadium that they built for him to make it look like Skull Island. It was virtual Skull Island. It was not. He was just chilling, and he realized that some shit was also going wrong. So he threw like some log or something or some big ass piece of land
Dude,
and
dude,
broke
that was
through.
sick.
That was
Yeah.
pretty cool. That scared the shit out of me,
He
dude.
just ripped the tree out. I'm like, oh, is he gonna do? I thought they were gonna do something silly, like he was gonna scratch his back with it, or But yeah,
Yeah,
he just like a whole tree, and he just like shifted it down, took off all the branches, ripped off the roots, and just chucked it like a javelin.
and it,
Like
and then
sick.
broke the simulation pretty much, the screens that
Mhm.
were encasing
The,
him.
the
And then
sky.
he saw it. He looked up and he's like, "I know y'all fucking with me."
Yeah.
You bastards, keeping me enclosed.
Yeah.
He wants to be free. Kong wants to be free, right?
That's what it seems like. He's like, yeah, it's missing something.
Hmm.
Like you kind of find out later that Skull Island was also kind of important, kind of to a whole nother thing.
Right.
Like his home.
Hmm.
Why it felt like home to him. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a little bit later.
But yeah, from what it seemed like, it looked like Godzilla, he was good guy, and then he turned bad because we find out later on that the people at Apex Cybernetics, they were trying to make their own Godzilla, their own Robo-Zilla, if you will. And he didn't
Yeah.
like that. He didn't like that at all. Even the characters, right? Let's talk about some of the cast here. We had Millie Bobby Brown was in the film. We had the kid from Deadpool 2. Was it Deadpool 2?
Yeah. The kid he was trying to save. I forget what his name. He was the fire kid.
Yeah. I can't. Julian
Julian
Dennison.
Dennison.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was in here. They call him Tap Water because I don't know. Hey, by the way, do you drink tap water? I know it's
Yeah.
totally
That
drink
was-
tap water. They were saying that he was, I guess, I don't know, smooth brained or something for drinking tap
he was
water.
a docile because they put they put the chemical, they put fluoride in the water that makes people more submissive, which was
Yeah,
such a freaking
the
QAnon kind of.
conspiracy theory. Like Millie Bobby
Yeah.
Brown's role was she's just all into the conspiracy theories, and she's like, no, I got to get to the bottom of the truth of what's going on. And it turns out she was right the whole time. She was like, yeah, something's going on, something's fishy. She got in contact with Brian Tyree Henry, who plays Bernie in the film. Bernie had a big role, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
let's see.
Okay. Yeah, well, yeah, Bernie was like he had a podcast where he talked about the the secrets of like Apex,
Yeah.
and stuff like that, which was kind of interesting, But it was like no one ever listened to him except for Millie Bobby Brown's character, which is Madison. So it was kind of funny. She was the only one that paid attention to it, and he was, really going off the deep end a lot of times.
He kind of gave me vibes, I would say, from the movie 2012. Remember Woody Harrelson's role, where he was like warning the world of all the dangers that were to come. I kind of got that vibe from him, which is kind of funny.
Yeah,
And he worked
yeah,
that role pretty well. He
yeah,
got
yeah. He was pretty good.
and
Yeah,
what
he
was
got
he?
a nice little backstory too, though, with his wife. Everything that
Oh
happened with his
yeah,
wife
they touched
and
on that,
the bottle of liquor he had.
right? That he was not planning to drink until he gave up completely on his
Yeah, yeah,
mission,
something like that.
pretty much.
Yeah, because I think his wife died in the original Kong battle or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a nice. It was just enough. Here's just a little bit of info. That's all you need,
Mhm.
and then just keep going. You know what I mean? You don't want to sit and dwell on stuff like that for too long.
Right. All the fans, they want to watch the action. They want to see all the action.
Yeah,
Backstory is definitely crucial, for storytelling. But when you're talking King Kong and you're talking Godzilla, you want to see boom, pow, all that,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah, exactly.
And
But yeah,
so,
they got well, they got a Skarsgård, one of the dozen Skarsgårds in Hollywood. Alexander Skarsgård, he played Dr. Nathaniel. Rebecca Hall, I thought she always plays a scientist. That's what I said when we watched the trailer. She was in Iron Man 3 and she was a scientist in Iron Man 3 too. So I was like, she just has that vibe. I don't get it.
I guess so. And it
Yeah.
works. It works.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in the film, right, as far as breakdown of what happened, that was going on. And so Kong, right? He really wanted to find himself. He felt like lost. He was having some kind of like inner demons because he didn't know who he was, right? He um they kept talking about the hollow earth, right? The role of hollow
Yeah.
earth is pretty much um monsters that are like Kong, right? Am I touching that right?
Yeah, what do they call them? Like the Titans, they call them, like all the Godzilla, King Kong kind of big monster guys. Yeah.
And later in the film, he does end up going over there and he sees like his peoples and stuff like that, and he gets a sense of like I guess closure or like anytime anyone goes to ancestry.com or whatnot, what are you trying to find? You're trying to find a piece of yourself in others, right? So that's kind of what he was doing. He was doing his own ancestry.com, even though people were doing it for him, getting him to his creators, if you want to call it that.
Yeah. That was a really, really good scene when they went through the Hollow Earth kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because I think Dr. Nathaniel, which is played by Skarsgård, so yeah, Nathaniel, he was saying like, I think his brother tried getting there, but they were like killed instantly because as you get to the center of the earth, he said like the gravity just like crushed and exploded him at the same time, kind of thing, or something crazy like that.
Kind of like a black hole.
Yeah. So it was cool, like yeah, because gravity is all weird. So theoretically, and they just went really crazy where the core is not a molten, ball of lava, that it's basically this forgotten paradise where all these like Godzilla and King Kong kind of characters are from. Really, it was a really cool scene with the flying like cars that was able to get the humans through it. It was kind of like a spaceship, but instead of going spaceship, it was like deeper in Earth kind of ship.
I did it right down. It had a name.
Called.
Yeah, but they finally figured it out. They figured out the science.
Yeah.
They figured out how to get through that black hole like little like space to get to the Hollow Earth.
Yeah. It was a really cool scene. I thought it scientific wise, it didn't make much sense, but also you're watching two like kaijus fight, so science is kind of like whatever.
Right.
But it was interesting. It was really cool, like seeing like the graphics and them like chasing Kong through this like wormhole to the center of the earth. Really, really cool. I thought that was really cool. And then once he was there, everything like there's no sky because you're in the middle of the earth.
Right.
And I thought that was cool where like he's on a mountain and all this like crazy stuff, but above him is also like another mountain. So it was just like a continuous like mountain in a. I'm like, oh, it's really fun to watch. I thought, him like swinging through that part of the world, this like fake center of the world kind of thing.
Yes, yes,
But
yes.
yeah, so I'm gonna keep going with the. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, no, no. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Anytime you want
But
to jump in, go ahead.
I really enjoyed that scene of them getting him there. Oh, but I think we skipped the part before a Hollow Earth.
Before I'll
Round one.
round one fight, right? The
Round one fight. Yeah.
first fight scene, Kong is on a ship, right? They're transferring him to, I guess, defend against Godzilla because the world thinks Godzilla is a problem, which he was.
Yeah.
They're like, let's take Kong and let's throw him into the mix. They got to convince him.
Yeah.
to
Well, I think no, they were taking him to
or were they?
the portal to Hollow Earth.
Oh, they were.
They
Okay, okay.
needed something. They needed something there. Remember?
Yes, yes, yes. He was
Because
going there,
needed something there.
and
Yeah.
Godzilla was trying to ambush him, right? Something like that.
Yeah, because he felt his presence. He was like, "Oh, here's another big, powerful person I need to go kill."
Right, right,
Kind
right.
of thing. Yeah.
And man, in that
yeah.
scene, I felt so bad. Even though I'm Team Godzilla, I felt sensitive to Kong, but he was tied up. He was tied up in chains and
And
like
drugged up. Yeah.
and drugged up. He was somewhat sedated. And how do you feel if you're locked up, right? I kind of got Titanic vibes when he's locked up and he's about to like meet his doom type shit. And all it took was freaking the little girl, the indigenous chick from Skull Island that was rescued and adopted by the Dr.
Dr. Andrews.
Irene, Dr. Andrews. I'm sorry, yeah. She could talk to Kong. That was a cool thing that I thought was
Yeah.
interesting. Is that King Kong is way smarter than you think. He knows sign language, and so
Yeah, that was really
she she
interesting.
she talked to him, and she was like um the voice of reason when it came to him. When he was like getting mad and shit, she would be like, "Hey, chill out. Home is where the heart is," type shit.
Mm. Basically.
So like finally, luckily, Dr. Andrews convinced everyone like, hey, release Kong or else Godzilla's gonna fuck us up. And they did. They released him. So that first fight sequence, even though he was real handicapped and he's like submerged in water and whatnot, they released his cuffs, they released the chains, and then he went to work. I think he did a really good
Yeah.
job. But that first fight went to, and then it's funny that for all of these fight scenes, right? Like they kind of broke the fourth wall and kept saying, "Yeah, round one went to this guy, round two went to him, round one
Yeah.
went to Godzilla." I think only for the fact, and again, I'm
Yeah.
Team Godzilla, but I think it only went to him for the fact that he had a surprise attack. How do you survive an ambush like that? That's pretty tough.
Yeah. Yeah. It was also like, and then he's able to move around in the water so easily where
Mhm.
Kong wasn't able to. There was one cool thing once Kong got free and stuff like that, where he saw where Godzilla was
Yeah.
and he saw like the boats and he just used the boats as like jumping pads
Oh
to
yeah,
get
yeah.
over there. And I'm like, oh, that's super cool. And so he's basically just jumping from like, like battleship to battleship, because it's a bunch of like military kind of ships.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was kind of cool. But the one part of that scene that was a little cheesy was they do their tussle and they're doing all their stuff. And Godzilla like charges up to do his, laser beam out of the mouth move.
Mhm.
And he does it from underneath the water, and Godzilla saw it, and he did like they showed in the trailer. He did like the movie action where like he jumps out, like he jumps away from it. That was kind of funny, but
It was.
it fit the moment. But it was also just like the slow mo explosion and the guy jumping from it kind of thing. It fit the movie really well, even though it was a little silly, but it fit it kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't out of place. That's for sure. Yeah, like I guess
Yeah.
you could say it was warranted.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
And then how do you say? So that was fight one, right? It went to Godzilla. Fight
Yeah,
two happened. Do you remember fight two?
Yeah, it happened towards the end of end of it. End of the movie. That was in Hong Kong, I believe.
Hmm.
But yeah, But one thing is like, well, Godzilla went to Hong Kong to go mess up Apex because he sensed another big bad over there. So he was going to Apex because they're getting ready to. That's what they were turning on Mechagodzilla to test him out.
Mhm.
And as soon as they turned him on, Godzilla went there and started messing shit up. One thing I thought was kind of a little I'm like, was Kong when Kong was in Hollow Earth and you said he was doing his whole like ancestry kind of .com thing.
Yeah.
There was like this big like arena thing with a throne on it, which was a cool scene. He finds this axe that basically I think the axe was like a Godzilla scale. It looked like, right? Like on a you know, because it fit in with a drawing on the floor that was basically a Godzilla circle kind of thing that lit all up. But I think Godzilla recognized somebody was down there.
Yeah.
You know, and then he just laser beams down, straight down, and like destroys that whole area. And I still I don't quite get why or like, you know what I mean? It was like
a shot in the dark. Pretty much.
Yeah, I was like, wait, but I was like, are you doing it because he took your throne? You know, because you belong on that throne, or was this like an ancient battle that Godzilla's and Kong's always fought? You know, kind of. You know,
I
so
think more.
They're both from there, right? I assume.
Yeah, that's what it kind of seems like. Some stuff they kind of leave you to think about what's going on in the background, backstory, and I wish they would kind of explain more. But of course, action. But yeah, I think they're kind of from the same place, you know, place of Titans or the Mount Titanland or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, because when Kong was down there, there was like this flying snake bat thing that he like messed up. And what's up with him and like ripping heads off, dude? Like,
yeah. He ripped that thing's head off, right? And then he ate the fucking like the neck of that head and was just like and just fucking loving it, just basting himself in the goo.
Yeah, Kong likes to rip off the heads, like because he does that again later in the movie. He rips off another head.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was weird where Godzilla just stopped destroying Hong Kong and just looked down and just shot a laser down.
Yeah.
So he theoretically made a hole to the center of the earth. And I was like, but didn't you just needed a portal to get there? Then Kong can just like laser beam like a tube. You know, so all that happens down there. You know, some of the people die, whatever. They wind up the bad guys, Apex, wind up getting the energy that they need from there, or they can fully activate Mechagodzilla, because Mechagodzilla kept turning on and then turning off. But they were doing a very you ever seen like Pacific Rim type of thing?
Yeah.
The person would plug in and then be one with the robot. They were doing something along the lines of that. And then I guess
they didn't show this guy's role too much. They showed him as the one that was creating Mechagodzilla, Ren Surizawa. They didn't show him too much. I wish they would have explained a little bit more about his role. Why was he picked to control Mechagodzilla? That was something that kind of confused me. They didn't talk too much about that. Maybe
they might have said it in a different movie. I'm not sure if he was in the last movies, but I mean, he might have been. I'm not 100%. But then there's Walter Simmons was the guy in charge of Apex. He was the Hank Scorpio of it all.
Yes.
But his intentions were good. He's like, hey, we need to have a big weapon as well, which, okay, because if this thing does go rogue and just want to kill and destroy the world, he could, so yeah, you want to have your own weapon. But I think he was just very cocky and arrogant, that evil villain arrogantness he had to him.
He did. He seemed like he had an agenda of his own.
Well.
He did.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. He played the character very well, where it's just like that bad guy where you're like, he's an asshole, annoying kind of bad guy, like a very classic old school kind of villain, which I liked.
Yeah, you love to hate him.
I
love those kind of villains.
Yeah, evil Bond villain. That's what I was getting the vibe. So like a really bootleg Bond villain. That's how he was. And but again, it fit. It worked with the movie.
I agree.
But yeah. So yeah, Godzilla just made a tube to the center of the earth, and then they're screaming at each other from Hong Kong to the center of the earth. Godzilla screaming on the hole. Kong is screaming at the other hole.
Whole
Like,
screamathon.
that was
I
so
was
silly.
I was laughing. I was laughing up a storm because I was like,
Yeah.
how long are they gonna stretch this one out? Them just screaming at each other.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, by this is what their third face to well, I don't want to say face to face because they're halfway through the planet, but like screamathon, like you said, because they
Mhm.
screamed a few times each other on the boat in the water.
Okay, yeah, they did.
But, yeah, they did that too. But yeah. Then Kong winds up going through the hole Godzilla just made, because then Godzilla went on to like, all right, I got to go beat the power source, which is Mecha Godzilla. You find out,
hmm
but yeah, it was and Kong just like goes through half of the earth from the center of the earth to Hong Kong in 2 minutes.
Something like
Like,
that.
I'm like, what? And the people in this super spaceship thing, they're right there too, following him. So I thought was like, but again, it's just like how crazy this movie is, where you're like, it's not that important,
Right. You don't focus
Yeah.
on the little things like that. You just go with the flow for this film, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like if they try to do that shit in like Interstellar, then we would have problems. But I just want to see these two monsters fight, which is what basically everyone I think wanted to see. So
Mhm.
the silly things like that,
Right.
most people were able to put aside. But yeah, so you want to keep going. So Godzilla and Kong meet in Hong Kong,
Yeah.
and then we get round 2.
We get round 2. Is that when so round 2 is when they're like fighting with all the neon buildings? Is that
Yeah,
that fight?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah,
So
they split that fight into like 2 rounds as well in the neon one.
mhm,
Because there's one round 2 he uses the axe, and round 3 no axe,
no X. Yeah, that didn't that
right?
kind of confused me. But
Yeah,
yeah, in there, round 2 with the neon lights, is that when Godzilla puts the foot on his chest? Is that one?
that's like it's the same place, but it's like I guess that would I thought that would be considered more third round,
Third round?
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah,
I will.
because
Go ahead.
yeah, well, because they kind of like at that point once they meet in Hong Kong, it's just nonstop fighting. Like from that point to the end of the movie, it's just fight, 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 fight.
I
So
just one thing that kind of struck me is when they were trying to fight, right? Second and third round, they kind of group them together a little bit with those battles.
yeah,
Um, I didn't think, even though Godzilla is like instinctual based when he thinks, when he fights, and how he reacts to whatever he's doing, he had a heart all of a sudden. He had um he had Kong beat to the point where he was
yeah,
about to end him, but instead of ending him, he showed mercy.
yeah,
Instead of like just fucking his shit up and just killing him altogether, he stomped, like he had Godzilla. I'm sorry, he had Kong on the ground on his back, and he's just like, ah, shit, like I'm kind of defeated. And then Godzilla was like, you know what? I'm gonna show my dominance by stepping on you and showing you, who I am as a Titan. But he let him live. He's like, okay, fine. We make eye contact. You see where I am. I'm not trying to like kill you. I'm trying to kill the greater evil. And so he let him go, and he starts walking away.
yeah, yeah. See, but I took that more like obviously the showing the mercy, but also is like you're gonna die, so let me not waste any more time. Kind of also like the instinct because he's always going after the bigger threat, like you said.
Mhm.
Where Kong is like, "Oh, I beat you. You're gonna die anyway. So just die, and I'm gonna go do my thing." You know, because
And
they had to bring Kong back to life with like an AED, like a giant AED, basically. It's
Mhm.
kind of silly, but yeah, I mean, that's why I was like, oh, it was kind of compassion. But then I also like the more I was thinking about it, the more I was like, is it compassion or was it the instincts kicking in, where you're like, you're not a threat anymore, but I'm not gonna waste my energy anymore.
You think he was really conscious about that, of like
I don't
of
know.
what
I
he
don't
had to
know.
do?
I don't know. I
I
mean,
want to
because
give
that's another thing. They throw it up in the air.
yeah.
You know, because they did kind of the same thing with in round one on the boats when Godzilla was gonna come back and they just killed all the engines and let Kong just like lay there beat up on the ship.
Yeah.
And Kong is just staring at him, and then Godzilla, I think, knew he could have went back there and tore him apart, but he didn't. So I
Mhm.
think that kind of carried on at the end of the
Mm,
movie too.
okay,
But I
okay.
don't know. I mean, but like you said, it's so open. They don't give you real reasons. They're just like, he did it, but like, why? I don't know. Figure it out. Whatever you want. Was it compassion? Was it him? This, which is cool. I mean, like, that's something you don't need an answer for. You just
Just take it
whatever.
for what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
Um, I do kind of see
But
now. I guess he was kind of saving the gas tank for, like you said, the bigger threat. That makes more
yeah,
sense.
yeah. But I mean, it could have been compassion, just like I'm not gonna destroy you.
I was trying to like do my best to read their faces and really see like what are they saying, because you can only do so much with body language, and then like they weren't using body language. They were just like having this stare down. The stare downs, I think, were important. Like they were telling more of a message
Yeah,
than what was going on screen.
yeah.
I
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I definitely plan
That's
on
good about that.
rewatching this movie just to
Sure.
zone in on some of those things. But
For sure. Well, I know I do want to talk about like round two is
mhm,
when Kong first comes out and he's kind of pissed because he's like, you blew up my family's arena, home, castle, whatever the hell I wanted to call it.
yeah, yeah,
So God, like Kong is pissed and he's the axe is like charged up,
mhm,
like from all the energy from being down in the hollow earth.
yep,
And like he slams it down into the ground and starts doing like the crazy gorilla stuff, banging on the chest and like screaming, and Godzilla is screaming, and he whoops Godzilla though with that axe,
he
like
does.
whoops him, but he also needed that tool to like absorb all the laser beam power, which is
True,
really cool.
because if he didn't, I think he would have been done there too. But that just
Yeah,
shows you,
yeah,
nature versus nurture. He is so smart that he's been kind of, you know, just leveling up and knowing like, oh, this is what I gotta do to win. I gotta get a weapon. I gotta do this. I gotta, do what
yeah,
it takes to beat someone that already has, this better not handicap, this advantage of like having these powers.
yeah. Yeah, which is one thing, like I really hope they do like a prequel or something like that, because he didn't make the axe, he found the axe, which means other Kongs, like his ancestors, knew about God, like either a Godzilla, and knew that they needed a tool to help beat him. So it's really like interesting. I was like, I really want to see a cool prequel to it all. And that way, can you imagine a bunch of Kongs versus
Ooh.
a bunch of Godzillas? What? Like that is insane in Hollow Earth with all those crazy, other monsters that they can make up, you know?
Well, let's talk
So
about that. Do you think that's possible? Do you think it's possible to make a movie like that where they don't have communication like us? They'd have to really be talking in monster language, and we'd have to decipher that whole story based off of
mm,
screams, grunts, and anything monster related. I think it's
I
possible.
think,
You gotta have the right
yeah.
person do it. But I definitely a battle royale. There you go. I definitely think it.
Yeah, and wolves.
And wolves, throw them in the mix,
And
right?
wolves. Yeah.
Like I would love to see. So when you mentioned that, it kind of gave me made me think of what's that one movie? Oh man, there's a movie where there's no talking throughout the whole movie, and you just watch it for what it is. There's a couple of them like that.
There's a couple of them like that.
I know you know what I'm talking about, and it's so hard to do to not have dialogue in a film, but make such a
Yeah.
such a
There's a
crazy.
Kurt Russell movie that is kind of like that, where Kurt Russell doesn't say a word in the movie,
Mm.
and Congo they talk a lot. Um,
I
yeah, but yeah, there's action movie, but it would need to be an action movie
mhm,
where, because your actions literally speak for,
mhm.
is that. But also, I think you would have to the story would mostly revolve around, I feel like, Kong, Because if it's a bunch of Kongs, they would need to be able to communicate somehow. So it would be a lot of body language and facial expressions and stuff. Where Godzilla's a
Si-
more like
sign
like an
language.
instinct. Yeah, yeah. Well, not even that. It's just like yeah. I mean, they could. I think you can figure it out because if they're more human-like, where they have like an arena and a throne and they make weapons kind of
Right.
stuff. So like there has to be some form of communication
Right.
anyway.
For that hierarchy
You
thing
know,
going on.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, that would be super cool, and I really would not mind that because then I gotta say, out of this movie, the biggest issue in the movie,
Mhm.
Godzilla versus Kong, was the humans. It wasn't bad. They weren't bad, but it was just they were there just to give you the little hints of what's happening.
Right.
Like oh, Apex is a bad company. Oh, we need to go here for this. Now we're going here for this. Like
Okay.
don't do this. But it's also like not why people are there. They're not there to see. What's her name? I was gonna say 11 from Millie Bobby Brown.
Millie Brown. Yeah.
So I mean, they're not there to see like her and all these other people. I wanted to see the CGI. So if they can get rid of the humans and add more CGI, dude, that would be pretty epic. And I think if they do a prequel, that would be pretty badass.
I would like a prequel.
Yeah,
I'd watch it.
they set it up
Mhm.
kind of. Like who made the handprint when Kong touched it? So there had to have been others.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Forgot about
obviously,
the imprint. Okay.
yeah. So it was cool. This like do the whole Hollow Earth storyline.
Mhm.
Like stuff like that. Like why they're all gone now? Like what happened? Did Godzilla just kill all the other monsters?
Right.
Why Kong is the last Kong kind of thing. So I wouldn't mind seeing something like that. It would probably be a downer because most of the animals down there would probably be being killed by Godzilla
Yeah.
or a Godzilla or whatever.
Like with a
That
film
would be
like
pretty cool.
that, you think there would be more gore and more like detail into the killing and all that stuff? I feel like there would be. There was
First said there was others in Kong. They explained it. Yeah, they explained it, and they really get more into it in this one. But yeah, because I think we might have talked about it off air, but yeah, like this Kong was theoretically we're saying the same Kong in the last King Kong movie, Skull Island.
Mhm.
He's just older now, which makes sense because he's smarter, bigger, way bigger than what he was before,
Mhm.
stuff like that. And yeah, man, I mean, there's obviously others because they made a whole village, kind of, not village. What would you call it? You open the door and there's like seats and a throne.
It
I mean,
it was some
like
kind
a
of hierarchy, some kind of like
yeah, like a
church
throne room. That's what it was, kind of.
throne.
It was a
Okay,
throne room, right?
I can see that. Yeah,
But yeah, they're hierarchy means there's more than one. So
and yeah,
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
evidence of that. So how do you say? Let's get down to
Get
that
the
last fight scene,
final battle.
right? So kind of like how you mentioned earlier, Batman versus Superman. Kong and Godzilla realize, I mean, Godzilla. I'm sorry, yeah, Godzilla already figured, hey, we need to fuck up Mecha Godzilla, and so how else are you gonna do that? You can't do it by yourself. You're gonna do it with help. So got Kong jumped in. I feel like he kind of saved the day,
Yeah,
even though
yeah.
Godzilla
So
had more power.
they had to bring him back to life because he was basically dead. So they like did a shock to his chest using the spaceship thingy.
Hmm.
Oh, that was another thing is the humans lost control of Mechagodzilla. That's a big part of it.
How did they lose
'Cause
control of him?
the power that they got from Hollow Earth, which is
Mhm.
why they were down in the center of the earth, the power
Yeah,
that they got, they used it to keep Mechagodzilla like running better. But by doing that, they were using a skull of the Hydra three-headed thing
yeah.
in the last movie,
Hmm.
and I guess that took over. like just the DNA or the presence of a former alpha, a former head honcho, like
Yes.
just took over and then kicked out the human basically, and was just its own machine.
Okay.
So
I see.
it wasn't the greatest reason why, but it was basically like raw power met with like the DNA of a former alpha kind of just brought
Okay.
him back to life in a sense.
Right.
Um,
Because when you try to play God and make certain things, when you try to do Pet Cemetery type things, it
yeah,
doesn't always
yeah,
go the way you want it. It does not always go the way you want it. Anytime you
yeah, it
bring
never
something
does.
back to life, or anytime you try to make a powerful being, something's bound to go wrong. Something's bound to go
Yeah,
wrong, and it did.
yeah.
It did in this case. Um,
But yeah, Mecha Godzilla was sick, dude. Was really sick. I enjoyed the design of it, the look of it. Had the cool scales up its back,
yep, super lit.
freaking laser hands, and it was really really cool. I want a toy of Mecha Godzilla.
You want to try Mecha Godzilla? I'm sure they're making it, man.
Yeah.
With the
Oh
success
yeah,
of this film, I imagine merchandise is gonna be like just sold out. I feel like it is. They're due for that because I don't
yeah.
know, man. In the previous Kong films, like I feel like merchandise didn't do as great. I would think it would do just based off of like Target, what is it,
Yeah.
Walmart. But
I
like this,
mean,
I don't know.
yeah.
You had someone to
Well, now
root
you
for.
have now you have three monsters that you can make toys rather than just a Godzilla toy.
Hmm.
Now you can do Godzilla, Kong, and Mecha. Which is pretty cool.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
well, Fredo said, are they going to make the Kong and Godzilla series like Marvel did with the Avengers?
Mm.
Maybe not as intense because that's a whole different thing. But I can definitely see them doing a few more movies because this is already the
Mm.
fourth
Fourth film, yeah.
film in the series, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that. I know we keep joking about it with the wolves, but what if they actually did make that like a badass phenomenon to add into the mix, and then you add in like what's another animal you could do to throw in? You could do something like that, and like I don't know.
Like a lion or something, like cat.
Yeah.
Because then you got the dog
Ooh.
and the cat kind of thing, so a cool wolf and
Or
lion.
a flying creature, maybe. I mean, we already kind of had that little like dragon looking
Yeah,
snake, but something like a titan of that version. Something
yeah.
that powerful that has the
But
ability
they
to
have a
fly.
Mothra.
Mothra? What's Mothra?
He's just he's just a giant moth. Mothra was in the last one,
Oh,
but
okay.
he was like a helper to Godzilla. So he like healed Godzilla with its moth dust, to help beat the three-headed dragon thing.
Okay. I'm looking at it right now. Okay. I like the name Mothra.
Mothra.
Rolls off the tongue. Okay, so there is one. So it's possible. I feel like definitely a movie where you could tie different monsters and bring them in. I think you could make that
Yeah,
happen. You just got to do it
yeah.
right.
Yeah, oh, they definitely could do this. There's a quick meme I want to show you. Oh, where is it? Um, so Warner Brothers made this movie. Warner Brothers also made Batman versus Superman,
Hmm.
and I know you remember that one. And the big thing with Batman versus Superman was they stopped fighting because of their mother's name were both Martha.
Yeah.
It's the stupidest thing ever in a movie, like ever. Where he's like, save Martha. And then Batman's like, why'd you say that name? It was like,
Which Martha are you talking
this is,
about?
yeah, I don't want to get into like the whole Snyderverse, but I'm like, this is the guy we want to, make more movies. Like, come on. So, there was a scene similar to that in this movie where they were obviously just screaming at each other. So here they kind of did it where Godzilla stepping on his chest. He goes, you were never a king. You were never even a monster. And then they show Godzilla beat up on the floor, and it says "Save Mothra." And then
Kong.
Godzilla losing his shit. Yeah, Kong on the floor. King Kong's on the floor. It says "Save Mothra." And then Godzilla like losing his shit, his arms all out. He's like, "Why'd you say that name?" is
The memes were
perfect,
funny
dude.
for this movie. The memes were hilarious for this moment. I can't.
Yes.
I'm on Reddit and oh fuck. I prepared that for earlier. For next time, I gotta show the memes. We gotta show the memes always.
Yeah, the memes were definitely really, really good in it. But that one was funny because it was such a stupid reason why two guys fighting to the death would
Mothra,
stop. It was
Martha,
like,
Mothra.
your mom is Martha? My mom is Martha too. Like, did we just become best friends? Yup. He's like, you want to go kill this bad guy? Yup.
Yup.
That's basically what it was, Like,
Yeah, I see
oh
that.
man. But yeah, so so the meme with that came out. But yeah, man, they can go crazy with the monsters. I mean, they kind of did in the last one, but I mean, just top it. Just keep going crazier and crazier with the monsters, man.
Mhm.
Because it's not about the story. Oh, well, like you said, you want to finish how the last battle ended?
So I kind of missed a little bit of the last battle. Do you want to help me out on that?
Mm.
Because like I said, I watched this on my phone. I watched it in like 3 sessions, not a continuous
Yeah,
watchathon, if you want to call it
like
that.
one sitting.
In one sitting. There you go. So I just know that Kong came in. Did he come in with the axe? Final scene. Did he use the axe?
Yeah, yeah.
A little
So
bit of
yeah,
that,
so
right?
they brought Kong back to life. He's all supercharged, being shocked. And so while he was doing that, Godzilla went to go fight Mecha, and Mecha was killing him.
Mhm.
Mecha was destroying Godzilla. He had his like knife hands and shit, and and his laser. So he was whooping Godzilla, man, like easily without even trying.
Mhm.
And then once Kong jumped in, and I think Mecha was gonna do like a final blow and kill Godzilla. Kong came in, saved him, and stuff like that. Oh, yeah, that was one thing is where the little girl Gia, who's the native who can sign language,
Yes.
and she had told Kong, she got up on a building somehow and told him like, "Oh, he's not your enemy. You need to help him."
Mm.
And then he looked, and he looked at her. He did, so that's like that nonverbal kind of thing. He's like, "I want to kill him, but I get, if I trust her," kind of thing. So that was cute. So he went in and go help. He went to help Godzilla, who just whooped his ass. But yeah,
Right.
he was killing with the axe, and I think he was gonna do something. And then Godzilla came and they like literally like pull them apart. Like they both grabbed an arm type of thing.
Yeah.
And then I think Godzilla grabbed the axe. Oh no, Godzilla saw Kong holding the axe and shot the axe, kind of like what the Avengers did with the shield and laser beam kind of thing, which was really cool.
Okay.
Charged up the axe, and then that gave the power to destroy Mecha. And then chopped off an arm, chopped off another arm,
Chopped off the
chopped off
head.
the head. And killed it. It was like Godzilla got or Kong. Kong got some stuff with ripping off heads, man.
He does
Um,
some kind of fetish.
uh, we got this guy how's Mike Ray's Gravity Falls Dipper hat. Appreciate it.
Appreciate the watching us, by the way, on
All the
Twitch.
comments. Yeah, everyone.
Mhm.
Yeah. We don't get too many people on Twitch. Well, Twitch is not known for podcasting, so we're breaking the formula. But
Mhm.
but yeah, man. I mean, this movie, yeah, it ended like that, and then after they beat Mecha, they kind of stared at each other, and they did like the stare down. They're like, "Are we cool?" We're like, "We're cool,"
They
And
jerked off. Yeah.
then Godzilla just went back into the water and just took off. I was like, "What?" But it was like it was that thing. Is like, "We cool," and then Godzilla's looking at him like, "We're cool," and
Yeah.
then that was it.
I was content
Also, I
with the
didn't.
ending. I was content with the
Oh yeah,
ending.
yeah, big time.
We got closure. We definitely got a resolution. The greater good beat the overall bad, which was Apex Cybernetics, which I still think to this day, I don't think their agenda was good to begin with. I feel like
Yeah,
if we dig into that more, I don't know, man. Every time, what's his face? Dr. Simmons was speaking,
Mhm.
I felt like he was just like, I just want the power just to have the power. I don't think he cared
Yeah.
about people. So
No.
yeah, I definitely got resolution out of that. Um, I got resolution. I got content from the resolution of the end of the movie. I definitely like the ending.
Yeah. 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 I think it cuts to like or King Kong is back in Hollow Earth. He's on the edge of a mountain and like does
Yeah.
his gorilla thing.
Hmm.
Whatever, pounds on his chest. Um, but yeah, I thought it was a decent ending because I wasn't sure like how I knew you're not gonna have two guys like Kong and Godzilla kill each other. It's just not gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, uh, as Mike Reyes said, saw Godzilla and Kong on Sunday. Yeah, man, there's I think you missed all the beginning part of it, but it sounds like we both enjoyed the movie. So we'll get into ratings, what we rate it
Okay.
in a little bit, but yeah, I mean, it was this. I knew it wasn't going to end with that. There had to have been a greater threat, and unfortunately, if you've seen the trailer when they first showed the trailer, however many months ago, and they show Mecha Godzilla in the trailer,
Right.
it twice. They show a drawing in the background,
Mhm.
and then in the subway, you actually see Mecha Godzilla like in the top, and I was like, oh man, it's kind of sucky that they ruined it in the trailer.
Yeah.
Especially in the very first trailer.
Should have kept it
But
a secret. Should have been a secret.
yeah, they really should. I think it would have been a really cool thing, because they're not going to kill each other. There has to be some kind of draw, and then in this case, you make it they team up to fight a bigger bad guy kind of thing, which was really cool. But they should have kept it secret. I thought the movie would have been way cooler if we didn't know Mechagodzilla was coming at some point. I think it was just disappointing. I was like, why would you ruin that? Why would you ruin that?
Hmm.
But I mean, it is what it is. It still didn't ruin the movie, but
No.
it just got rid of like that shock, that we could have all had. We're like, oh my god, it's Mecha,
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine watching Endgame knowing Captain America is going to lift the hammer? That
No.
dude, that would
Y'all.
have ruined so much.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. But
Keep things secret, man. Keep things. And Warner Brothers is notorious for that. Is for ruining movies and trailers. Warner Brothers is super notorious for that.
I
But
don't know.
you want to say anything else before we get into our ratings?
No. I think we'll definitely talk about yeah. Let's get into ratings. Let's do it.
Yeah. But you want to tell us what you rated out of 5 stars, out of 5 Godzillas?
Okay. Out of
How many-
5 Godzilla stars, I'll give this film I'll give it. Oh man, I almost want to give it a 5. I almost do. I'm so close that if I can do like 4.5, I'd give it that.
Yeah,
If I have
do
to give it
4.5.
if I have to give it a solid, I'll give it a 4. But realistically,
Yeah.
4.5. It's almost, I wouldn't say perfect, but it's up there to what I look for in a film from Godzilla and Kong. I want to see action. I want to see great imagery with like the landscapes and how they fight on that landscape. I want to see in a film like this, the powers that they possess. So,
Yeah.
Kong, intellectual, he's smart, right? And then you got Godzilla, who's just straight, internal instinctual power.
Power. Yeah.
And so they hit the mark on everything that I look for. So 4.5 out of 5 stars is what I give this film. Would I watch this film again? Yeah, I'd watch this film again.
Yeah.
Would I go to the theaters for a film like this?
Mm.
Yeah, I'd go to the theater just because, like I said earlier, like for something that's so visually, visually
And I would say like
pleasing,
physically. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
it it did it for me. One of my favorite scenes that one of the fight scenes was the scenes where Kong and Godzilla are fighting with like neon buildings in the back. That looked really
Yeah.
cool. That like you didn't have to explain why the buildings are neon for me to be liking it. It looked really cool,
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
But
It
yeah,
could have been a made up city for that, and it still would have just been cool. You could have called it anything, just made up a city. You know, I think well, it was Hong Kong, I believe, but yeah,
yes,
I mean, it was just like made a really cool city and let the big giants destroy it. It was like just epic,
yeah.
epic. Yeah,
That's what I thought. I think they hit the mark on everything. Storyline, they had a decent storyline. The characters, right? The cast. I think everyone had a decent role. I think the most important role was Gia. Gia, I think, was like the one that kind of saved the day. She was the underdog that no
yeah,
one
yeah,
thought was gonna play a part in the resolution of these crazy monsters fighting.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I guess we get those let's see.
Codes Mike
Uh
Crazy said 4 stars based on the monsters, not so much the humans. The humans
yeah.
are the ones that screw this one up. Nah, but
They I mean they kind of do. They kind of do. That's what that's why I said if we could do a prequel with just the monsters, that'd be really good if they could find a way to do that.
right.
But I guess I got to agree with you. Like the only important human was realistically Gia. I think you could have got away with. I mean, Millie Bobby Brown and the guy who played Bernie, Brian Henry. You
Hmm.
know that little group that went out from New York to Hong Kong, whatever. That was just to kind of move the story along a little bit, but it was really unnecessary. I think you could have gone. You could have done it with background characters, like military kind of people or whatever. I mean, shit, you could even do like news stations, like that play in the background, as Godzilla is destroying a city. Like people are running by
Mm.
and there's a news station. You could have figured something out like that.
So you
But I
think
mean,
I gotta ask you, do you think if you were to take out them, the film would be as successful?
probably,
Okay.
probably you could have. I think you could have replaced them. Geo, like I said, Geo was probably the only one that was important because of her. Thanks, cosmic rays.
Hmm.
The Deaf Girl was like the fairies that communicate with Mothra in the older films. Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. I didn't even think about that. That is 100% true.
Okay.
100% true. Um, but yeah, I mean, yeah, she's the only one that kind of like, showing you, Kong is smarter than what people thought,
Right.
which was really cool. But yeah, the whole little group of Madison and Josh and Bernie.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, the good thing is they didn't show them a lot, which is good. And they just used them just to push the story along. But Madison was a kind of a big role in the last Godzilla film. She really wasn't in this one that much.
Mm.
You know, like the biggest thing was going from New York to Hong Kong and finding out about Mecha Godzilla. That was it. Everything else in their story wasn't necessary.
Right. I think it was just
So
more put in for clarity, especially when Millie
yeah,
said the line of, "Oh, that's why Godzilla went to so and so because he was pissed he was getting replaced," type shit. That's what she
yeah.
said earlier. I
She
think
literally, yeah, yeah,
said it for what it was. Yeah, she was giving
yeah,
clarity for reasoning because I guess so in films like these, right, where like for me example, I don't know about the previous films. I have an idea what's going on, but I don't know what's going on. I think she was put in for things like that. Millie Bobby Brown, big actress in Hollywood right now, so having her is nice because she's just so powerful with how she carries scenes. Stranger Things, she
yeah,
does great, all that stuff.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, basically, she just explained the plot. She goes,
Yeah,
why Godzilla's mad, even though we know why Godzilla is mad at this point. It's like, but
right.
yeah, they just explained the things that were just so obvious. Which I guess something like this, it's, whatever.
Mhm.
I didn't hate that, but it was probably the downfall of the movie was the humans of it. So I do gotta agree with Cosmic Rays. But I think I'm there with you with 4 stars, man. Really, really, I don't want to say it's like this great movie, but man, it was fun. It was just so much fun. watching really well done CGI, like really, really well done. Even Marvel films have times when the CGI is like you're looking at it, you're like, oh, what the hell is that, dude? Like, yeah. Oh,
Mu-
geez, don't even get me started with
the mustache.
the Superman mustache. Jesus, man. You can make Godzilla and Kong fight each other on naval ships in the middle of the water, but you can't get rid of a stupid mustache on a person for he was on screen for what 30 seconds, maybe?
Yeah, it was a reshoot.
Jeez,
It was a reshoot. And I know that's
it was a
rushed and
reshoot.
whatnot, but
It was a
still,
lead-in reshoot. Yeah,
you
it
have the
was.
best producers in Hollywood, and you did that.
Um,
Mm.
yeah, I mean, even with Marvel with Bruce Banner in the Hulkbuster at the end of Infinity War, it looks
Uh-huh.
really weird. If you ever watch it, you're like, why? He just looks like they just copied and pasted him on there. Like, like, all right, throw it in there, like, hurry.
Yeah,
But yeah, it was just like you said, it was very, very like entertaining, like like visually entertaining.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was really good for what it is. The two monsters fighting, it was a joy. So Comic Rays. The conspiracy guy with the podcast should have had more of a role. I felt like he was kind of the foundation. Yeah, he was Bernie. You're talking about Bernie. He was the conspiracy guy with
The podcast.
the podcast. I think he was only there to bring in Madison. Everything was only done to move on to the next stage. Like he was only there to bring in Madison. Once Madison was there, then their whole purpose was to introduce Mecha Godzilla.
Mhm.
And then that's all they really did was, he brought her into the fold, and once they teamed up, they went and found Mecha Godzilla, and then that was it.
Mhm.
But I did like it. Like I know we said earlier, Bernie, the Brian Henry,
Mhm.
he had a really decent backstory with his wife dying, with how crazy and erratic he was. He played it really well, stuff like that. But I didn't mind. I didn't mind it. But like you said, will I watch it again? Probably. This is definitely a movie like if you got to put something on in the background while you're like doing the dishes or cleaning the house or something like that. This is definitely a fun movie to do that. You can look up at any time and see cool action. Um,
Mhm.
would I really want to see this in theaters? Probably. And this is a really fun movie in theaters. Going to like a big Dolby surround sound kind of auditorium with like the crazy sound where like the seats rattle with the
Oh,
noise.
hell yeah.
Like those Dolby digital sound theaters that AMC have. Oh, they're so awesome. You know,
You know what's one thing I kind of
yeah.
wish, real quick, you just mentioned about surround sound and all that. I watched a film. I was on vacation recently. I watched a
Mhm.
film, really poorly done, but it was in 4D, right? 4D. Do you know about 4D?
Is
And
that the one
extras,
where the seats shake?
seats shake, and they also spit stuff at you from up top.
Oh, really?
I was
Oh,
I watched some kind of Legoland film and it was in 4D. And there was a scene to where like something was exploding and they it was funny. I kind of got scared because of COVID, but like they spit out bubbles and stuff like that, and they kind of added
yeah.
on an extra element. I always keep thinking of stuff like that. Is like, what if in the future for films you add on more things to stimulate your senses, right? What about if you add on smells while you're watching a film? Not to make you throw up, and I know you got to think about all those kind of things too. Ingredients that people are allergic to, but like something like that. Imagine Godzilla, or imagine a film like this, right? And you add in maybe shaking seats, maybe a feature to where the theater rumbles or
Yeah.
feels like an earthquake type thing. That'd be cool, man.
Yeah. I can see like that the last fight scene, you smell a lot of like smoke. Everything's kind of smoky smell, maybe. I
Yep.
mean, I don't know. If you could get something along like that.
Mhm.
That'd be cool. You definitely get like a cool like forest smell, fresh smell when he's swinging around in Hollow Earth.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, but I could never do it because I'm like I don't want to get you know shake around while I'm watching a movie. I just kind of want to sit and focus. That's why like 3D movies, I'm also kind of like not too big into, especially like a long one like Avatar. There's a few
Oh.
times I had to like take off the glasses and like, whoo, like my head was just pounding at one point towards the end where I'm like, this is a lot, of 3D.
Yeah.
Cosmic Rays. It's like Bug's Life Adventure in Animal Kingdom at Disney World 4D experience. Yeah, seats move, smells, you get squirted. Yeah, it's exactly like that. I knew I was thinking of a ride that was like that, but yeah, Bug's Life is like that too, which is really like genius kind of thing to do in that kind of world.
Mhm.
But yeah, did you have to pay extra for 4D?
No, did not. It
Or
was well for this film in particular, and again, it's not a big film. It's like Legoland, small
yeah,
makers making this film. No, it was included in the package deal. I mean, to spit out some bubbles, I really don't think that costs too much to do. So if you have to pay extra to spit out bubbles, then maybe I wouldn't buy it to begin with. They should make it part of the film. That's what I think.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That would be cool. Maybe that may be the next evolution of film is like how immersed. Is the screen gonna get more wrapped around you, kind of
Mm,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it'd be interesting what goes on, but I think, yeah, man, I think people are really, I just want to go to a movie theater and like not feel weird or stuff like that. But
Ugh,
yeah, and this one would have been such fun, man. But we got it. I watched it on the TV. I got not a huge TV. I think I got like a 50-inch or so.
okay.
Decent surround sound. I just got a nice sound bar. That sounds really good. I got to admit.
Okay.
Yeah, and just me and my girlfriend watched it. She was into it, but she was also like kind of doing other stuff, playing like Animal Crossing on the Switch and stuff like that. But
Okay.
she's like, yeah, I liked it. Every time I looked up, I kind of knew what was going on in the movie.
Yeah.
But so I know she's like she liked it, but yeah, it was a fun movie, and that was I feel like something we definitely needed, in the world. It's just a stupid high action movie, you know.
I agree.
So yeah. Any last thoughts? I think we're gonna
Wrap this up.
start ending it right now. Yeah, wrap it up.
Yeah, yeah. Last thoughts on the film. Um, Not too many last thoughts from me. I was pretty content with what I saw. I do want more. The film left me wanting more. I want to see more fight scenes
Yeah.
for sure. So yeah, you as the viewer who are watching, thank you for watching. By the way, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for hitting that like button. We definitely appreciate the support. You as the viewer, I think you should watch this one. I think you should watch this one. For the last film, if you haven't tuned in to last week's podcast, we are talking about the Eric Andre film,
Bad
prank
trip.
filled film, Bad Trip.
Yeah.
That one is not for everyone. That one is not for everyone. Comedy is so
Yeah.
subjective that like I would not recommend it to everyone. If you had that kind of humor, then I would say yes, watch it. But for this one, I think this one would please everyone. I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. I think kids might like it because it's just so a lot happening at once. Older people might, definitely like it because it's just not much thinking, just enjoy the show kind of thing.
Hmm.
But yeah, what Cosmic Rays also said, 360 movie screen, putting you in the middle of Godzilla, Kong, Mothra, Rodan, King, Gordor. That would be intense. That would be awesome. Who's that? Who does that? The planetariums. When you like lay back in the seat and everything's like a big dome kind of
Mm,
thing. Oh, that would be kind of
yeah,
cool.
that would be
You know,
cool.
yeah, that'd be really cool. Because then you don't have to worry about anybody in front of you because you're pretty much laying down, staring up. But yeah, we'll see, man. Be cool. But yeah, man, I definitely agree with you. Is it go check it out. It's a fun movie. It's not too long of a movie. You don't have to have intermissions like you did with Justice League Snyder cut. Um, just a good movie, good graphics, fun to watch. Monsters beating up each other.
Love it.
Awesome stuff. But yeah, man, thank you all. Cosmic Rays for jumping in, Alfredo. I know we had Brittany and Martin, coming in, dropping some comments on YouTube and Facebook and stuff like that. Twitch. Appreciate all you guys. Thank you. So we're gonna be back here next week for another movie review. We're gonna figure out which one is coming out next week, but we're gonna probably try to really be here every Monday and talk about all whatever movie is coming out that weekend. The big blockbuster of the weekend. We'll talk about that. And yeah, if you also want to check out some of our other shows, we have some sports ones. Wednesday, we have Dynasty Pylon. And Sundays, we have The Morning Spike. Both revolve around football. We also have Did We Just Become Best Friends, which is the original OG podcast on this channel with me and Alfredo, where we kind of talk about whatever. And right now we're doing our Oscar reviews, Best Picture. So we're breaking down all the Best Picture movies 2 a week until Oscars. And last week we did Trial of the Chicago 7 and Black Messiah. And wow, man, talk about good movies with good plots, good actors. Boy, man, I highly recommend go and watch both of those. Really good. But if you guys want to watch that, check that out on Thursday nights. And then we always put VODs and on Spotify the next day. So thank you all. Oh, where can they find you at, Will? What are you on?
If you want to see more of me, want to see this pretty face right here, this is the Moneymaker. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Twitch. You can find me on TikTok at PeppaMD. You'll see the name right here. I'm happy to have anyone and everyone follow me. If you like to laugh, come on over. Definitely, all these podcasts that Kramer just mentioned, great stuff, man. People know what they're talking about. The football thing, the only reason why I haven't joined that one is because I don't have a big knowledge, library of what's going on in the football world. If I did, I'd definitely jump in. But who knows? Maybe soon I'll start getting into it. Maybe when football season starts rolling around for a fantasy league, I'll probably jump on. But yeah, definitely. I always tune in. I always try to tune in when I can. But we definitely appreciate all the support. Feel free if you guys want to leave a suggestion in the comments of what we should watch for next week. We'd appreciate that too. Maybe you guys have some insight on what you want us to review. Who knows?
Yeah. Come on our Facebook page, leave a comment. And comments in this YouTube video, stuff like that. I watch out for all that good stuff. But yeah, man, thank you guys, and we'll see you all next week. Bye.
Peace.